using that same kind of census data and that same report that we paid to have done for us, in the 12-mile radius that we're talking about, there's $6.5 million worth of income and almost $5 million generated in the businesses that are around. And the average household income is $64,000 or so. We think that that's, again, just another good start for us. Our legal responsibilities, and we've been talking about that ever since this committee got started. What is the actual legal relationship that we would have, the Comfort Care Home, and starting with St. Mary's Parish, but any of the parishes in the cluster and the planning group? And our plan is to make sure that this home, Comfort Care Home, is a separate legal entity from the parishes, would be its own not-for-profit organization. Its debts, its obligations would not be the obligations of any parish whatsoever. If it sinks on its own. We also know that we will have some insurance and liability issues. One of the things we have been contemplating is that we would be doing this effort under the umbrella of the Diocese of Rochester. There are certainly advantages to us for insurance purposes and participating in the self-insurance program of liability that the diocese has. To actually oversee these concerns, we are going to establish a board of directors. Their mission of the board of directors would be to oversee on a policy level all the concerns, not only that the parishioners brought up in the surveys, but that we'll have as an ongoing concern. It will be a policy-making board. It will also have some other tasks, making sure we have adequate volunteers, not on necessarily a day-to-day or tactical basis, but making sure we have the means to do the things we wish to do to continue on. This parish has very special concerns about the Comfort Care Home. It's in their rectory. We certainly have to work out some agreement to actually use the space and split utilities and that kind of thing. But to ensure that those interests are best represented, we are thinking that we'll have to have a member of St. Mary's as a member of the board of directors of the Comfort Care Home as we move forward. On two different levels, we looked at whether there's a need for this Comfort Care Home. First, and we'll call it coldly the market research. It's based on what do we expect once we open up to how filled will we be? We'll have 2 beds. Will they be filled all the time? Will we have trouble getting people to come in? We spoke with Barb Deal, who's Vice President of Palliative Care at Lifetime Care. She says that all referrals for Comfort Care Homes in this area come from either Lifetime Care or a visiting nurse service. That is the mechanism. The formal process is one of these 2 agencies, knowing the situation of population, where people are located and that sort of thing, will make a recommendation to place somebody here. Barb reports that every single Comfort Care Home in the region has a waiting list. There is a definite prejudice for people to go to places very local. 6 months before we open up, Lifetime Care and Visiting Nurse Service would start supplying us with training for our volunteers at absolutely no cost to us because they're so interested in making sure this valuable service is available to their clients. These 2 places they split the territory up by home, but they provide services including the overnight health care aides. So that is a service that we don't even have to contract for. It just happens automatically when somebody's referred to us. Now the other part of whether there's a need for this goes back to our Five Saints West plan and our mission statement, which says that we are looking for joint missions for our cluster and the planning group. And we see this as a definite opportunity to do this. I don't know of any other joint ministry that the planning group as a whole or the 3 clusters are doing. There have been some efforts. Certainly we've done some Lenten retreats and that sort of thing, but this would be an ongoing, more or less permanent effort that would be a great mission and a rallying point for our parishioners. So that's our plan to date. We understand this is a work in progress. We understand that we aren't done yet. We understand that we've got many brick and mortar kind of issues, that we've got money issues, volunteers, fundraising, and this won't come together quickly particularly. We're sort of thinking it's probably going to be another year perhaps before we are actually able to open. But it certainly is an opportunity to live out our mission statement and to be good Christians as we move into the clustering, which will certainly be a great deal of change and anxiety. I think this is a perfect opportunity to start bringing people together under a common rallying flag. But we are looking for your input. If you could scribble us a note and just say what you liked, what you didn't like, can you volunteer? Is there something else you'd like us to inform you about? We can certainly address those issues. Now, our next step is to ask, in a formal sense, for endorsement from the pastoral councils and from Five Saints West, and we've asked for that by the end of June. We'll certainly address any questions you have right now,